Well, this took longer to come out than I wanted it to. Hopefully next time we can get some more voter participation. Until then, enjoy the video. Alright everybody, it's time for the top 10 Wakeangel 2001 customs of 2018. Now, I put up a poll on pollmaker.com or whatever the site's called, and left it up for everybody who watches me on YouTube and my art galleries to vote. And I kind of hit a plateau with voters on the first one, so I took the top 13 of that poll and made a second poll and saw how the ranking went there. So of the 3 that didn't make the cut this time, that would make these 3 guys: Nephilis, Comic Style Bunny, and Ivy. It's weird that Ivy didn't get any votes in the second poll, despite making it to the top 13 of the first poll. I don't know, I guess once all the others were eliminated, people just didn't vote for her, or maybe the people that did vote for her the first time didn't vote in the second poll, because the second poll didn't even get half the votes that the first poll did. I don't know what was up with that. But anyway, let's get down to the proper top 10 countdown. Number 10, Cassia and Clove. I just couldn't stand to separate these two figures for the countdown because Cassia and Clove were so inseparable in the comic itself. Yeah, I'm still reeling from the fact that the Archie Sonic comic got cancelled, but at least the IDW comic, which is drawn by the same people, is pretty damn good. I mean, I'm liking the new IDW comic so far, but I'm always going to feel some sour grapes knowing that this comic had to end. Hopefully, I'm still hoping that somehow, some way, this continuity can be revived under IDW's current contracts, but it may be a long time before we ever get to see any kind of resolution. But if that ever comes or not, these two are still really great characters, and it had some pretty nice designs too. Number 9, Infinite. Well, not making as high up on the chart as he did last year, this was kind of the year of Infinite for me. I mean, between this figure that I made for Chris, my costume for Comic-Con, Supersonic Rose, and Fusion Infinite, I pretty much, that's 4 submissions that all involved Infinite in some way. And then I did the review of the actual Infinite figure a couple weeks ago, comparing them. And you know, like, I feel that with this Infinite figure, I really got the shape of the mask a little better. Like, the first one was a dry run, and this is like an improved version. So Chris, you should still have this Infinite figure because it's yours. If you ever get the official Infinite figure, do me a favor. Can you take a couple of side-by-side pictures so we can see if I got the shape of the mask any better on this release than I did the first time? So, yeah, so Infinite, he still made it onto the top 10, although it's pretty low this time. Number 8, Sonico. I am so happy that this made the list. I am so happy. There's not really much for me to say about it because she was the favorite of December, so I've already talked about her twice. But yeah, I really do love that Sonico made the top 10 of 2018 because that just means I get to show off these pictures again. Because, you know what? We Sonic fans are a weird lot. We're a bunch of weirdos. We're into weird stuff. So go ahead and let your freak flag fly, Sonico. We all support ya. Number 7 was Classic Metal Knuckles. Now, I've made Metal Knuckles a few times, but that was mostly based off of his appearance in the Archie comic, which is the modern style. So this is the first time I actually did him in a classic style, using, of course, the Classic Knuckles figure made by Tomy. It was fortunate that the Classic Knuckles figure can actually have its head taken off for the purpose of customization, because otherwise it would have been pretty close to impossible to actually get this look down. I mean, like, just the way that Knuckles' dreads come down over his body make working on it if you can't take the head off just, you know, can't do it. But yeah, it's Classic Metal Knuckles. Aside from the fact that he kind of completes the metal character thing, I don't really see too much in him after all. He mostly appeared in Sonic R, which is a racing game not without a real story, and the Metal Knuckles from Sonic Advance look radically different from this, so, you know, there we go. Number 6, Lurantis. Yes, one of my personal projects. My favorite Pokemon of Gen 7. And of course, mine is named Orchid, because I like the Orchid Mantis. Yeah, Laurentis is just a really cool looking pink praying mantis waifu looking thing. Kind of like the little pajama bottom pants and the giant pea pod sights that it has. It's just a really cool looking Pokemon. And I guess I do have a weakness for bug type things, even if it's not technically a bug type. But yep, Lurantis, I really liked that you liked it. And now we're gonna be into the top 5, which is the better half of the list. Number 5, Tangle. My first attempt at making one of the new IDW characters as an action figure. I kind of like how much he resembled Blaze, because that made the figure significantly easier to make. I do remember that I wanted to see if there was interest in seeing the IDW characters, so I put up a video that I said if it got 200 likes, then I would make the Tangle custom. And it did take a little over a week or so, but it eventually happened. So, yay, I like that you like Tangle. And now that she's actually had a chance to make a few appearances in the comic itself, what do you guys think of her? Because, I like her, but, I'd like to know what the fandom has... I want to know if the fandom has accepted her. Number 4! And this is a head-scratcher. Classic Mario. This had to be the absolute simplest custom that I made all of last year. All I did was take a Mario figure that I think was made in the 1990s or possibly early 2000s and reverse his color scheme, painted his overalls red and his shirt blue. And it isn't even exactly one of my best paint jobs because, like the kind of plastic that he was made out of and the fact that he's mostly red really led me to have to use alternate paints that I don't normally like to rely on. In fact, this is the first time I've ever actually had to use my enamel-based paint that I bought over 10 years ago. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what the whole idea behind this was, but apparently a lot of people just like seeing reverse color scheme Mario in, I don't know, maybe because it was novel seeing such an old figure that I customized. I really have no idea. Why did this one get so high ranked? I mean, were there a bunch of trolls who started like, oh hey, let's pick Wakeangel's simplest custom and put it high on the list so that it could really confuse them. Like, I don't know. Like, if you like it, then more power to you. I mean, this is a fan poll after all, but it's just weird. All right, top 3 time, and number 3 is the hard-boiled Heavies. All right, this was quite the team. All 5 members of the hard-boiled Heavies from Sonic Mania, made out of the egg robos from the Sonic Generations line, all except for Heavy King, that was a heavily modified egg pawn. These were a fun little set to make. And I even did little cameos with my Agatha figure because why not, right? So yeah, it turns out that Chaos Hog, the one I made these for, he put them in a little stop motion. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. It's kind of cool, sort of a dubbing of the Sonic X thing. But yeah, it's a fun little thing, and these were really cool. I kind of like how they revived the Egg Robo to make them into like named characters for a game. That was pretty cool. Number 2, Bedlam and Frantic Bedlam. Frankly, I am absolutely not surprised that this got up so high in the list because this is basically this year's SNT, a character from a show of a much more popular YouTuber that I had the honor of making a toy for. But the funny thing is, I actually didn't make these toys last year. I made them 4 years ago. The story is that PipPuffFan77 wanted me to make Bedlam and Frantic Bedlam for his stop motion. But stop motion takes a long time. It's by the time the episodes that they appeared in finally came up, I had completely forgotten that I had even made these toys. And all the pictures that I had taken of them had long since been deleted from my hard drive and any other place where I would have stored them. But that's when Pipluff finally premiered them in the episodes and people reminded me that I was the one who actually made them. It was Pipluff himself that actually reminded me that the photos that I sent him might still be saved in our old email chain. And yes, since I've had the same email account since I've been in high school, I was actually able to retrieve the 4-year-old email and recover them so that you can see these pictures before you now. So yeah, that's I'm going to link to the first of the 3-episode finale of the Sonic Stop Motion Adventures show, which is where Bedlam makes his first appearance. But all 3 of those are fantastically well made. I mean, it's a really good action figure stop motion. It's like, I mean, it's not Hollywood, but it's definitely up there with most TV grade animation that I've seen, especially with shows that actually got a decent cult following, like Action League Now, which was on Nickelodeon. So yeah, like, there's a little asterisk on this guy because I didn't technically make him this year, but I did reveal him this year, so that's what counts. So, that's the number 2, and there's only one thing that is actually better than this. Well, that the fans have deemed to be better than this. And number 1 is the Koopa Clown Car. I guess my fans just have a thing for vehicles, don't they? So, yep, the Koopa Clown Car. It started out as just a Pokeball and the propeller from some little robot toy I found in a dying Toys R Us. But, yep, this is the number 1 thing that I made last year. I gotta remind everybody that I did absolutely nothing to the Bowser Jr. figure that I put in the Koopa Clown Car. He was only there so that I could actually make sure that I was making it the right size. But, here we have it, the Koopa Clown Car with this little Bowser Jr. rider, an iconic little vehicle from the Mario franchise, and, well, you know, I guess people just really love this thing. It makes me wonder, I just finished making the Egg Walker from Sonic Adventure 2 this month, so does that mean that the Egg Walker is probably going to end up as the number 1 for next year's poll? Well, there's only one way to find out. I'll see you guys in 2020. Thank you all for watching the video, but keep in mind, this top 10 list was only decided by a little bit over 200 votes. Considering that I have 13,000 subscribers on YouTube alone, that's less than 2% of my overall subscriber base. So hopefully you guys will vote in higher numbers next time. But I'll have some proper custom videos ready for you very soon, because I have quite a few figures on my desk which are very near completion.